What's the difference between what are the reasons for children not going to school, and how can we support them?
Rights are rights, but you've got to have the resources to deliver them. Yeah, and that's, some poor countries just don't have the resources, and that's why we do what we do. And one of the top priorities we have is to get girls and boys in school, and if possible, to make sure they don't just leave at 12 or something, but they, particularly girls, that they see it through perhaps to the age of 15 or something like that. So then they are educated enough to earn and then become responsible parents without being... so many young girls, they suddenly become a mother at the age of 15 or something, and they've got no life after that because they're stuck. And they're used, and it's not right. So we want girls to become women who can be, can stand on their own 2 feet and not be pushed around. And empowering girls and young women is a crucial part of development. It changes the whole of society and sort of economic fortune.
Does the government give money to charities like Comic Relief and Save the Children? How do you decide which one gives it to who?
It's exactly the same way as I was describing earlier about trying to get value for money. So, for instance, if we decide we're going to give, let's say, £100 million a year to Bangladesh, we will leave a lot of power with the country office, that's to say DFID in Bangladesh, to decide how they best spend the money. And what they might do, for instance, let's say we want to try and get fresh water to a good water tap to lots of very poor outlying villages. We might have an arrangement with Save the Children or a charity like that, proper contract, proper agreement to say we'll make £2 million available, and with that £2 million you've got to deliver 200 fresh water taps to the following villages. And so we will work through them in an agreement. So we will work with them, and of course in disaster relief we do lots of things with Oxfam and Save the Children and people like that, and we just get on with it. So yeah, we will work with charities, NGOs, non-governmental organisations, and so a lot of them have agreements with us which can deliver benefits in individual countries. So we work very closely with them, and because we're a government department, we're not a whole army of people, so we can't do everything ourselves. We are the channel through which money is spent, and through which we decide how it's spent and where it's spent. So we need people like that to deliver the benefits we want to show.
What effect will climate change have on poor countries, and what are we doing to help them?
Yeah, climate change is a very big issue, and particularly in poor countries, is what happens if the climate changes and, let's say, there's less rainfall. Suddenly they've got a food problem. Or if there's too much rainfall, they've got a flooding problem. So climate change does matter, and if we can address the big causes of climate change, like CO2 emissions from power stations and cars and everything, then we should do that. But we've also got to look at adapting to the effects of climate change. So for instance in Bangladesh and Indonesia we've got big plans so that if the water level rises, you don't suddenly find all the houses are underwater. So there are lots of things we can do both to stop the original cause and to address the problem we know is coming. So we're spending quite a lot of money on climate change in all of our country programs.
Are boys and girls treated the same in poorer countries?
They are by us, but not always by the countries. And our policy is to treat them the same and to make sure that girls are not disadvantaged. Because normally, what happens in more simple societies is the men think they're boss and they're a bit tough on the women. Now we don't think that's right. We think they should be equal. And as as what I was saying earlier, we think it's very important for girls to be given a proper chance. We think that's if you can change a country's approach to girls and improve the opportunities girls have, you can change the whole of country's society for the better. And that's what we think should happen.
What's the most difficult question you've ever been asked?
That one. What's the most? I don't know really. I'm always getting asked difficult ones. I tell you, a lot of journalists just try and ask a question which is not designed to get information. It's designed to try and trip you up. It's designed to try and get an answer which they can then turn and make it look like you've said something you haven't. And we always have that. When people say, well, why don't politicians answer the question? It's because we know that as soon as we're honest, the press will twist it.
So we're always having to tread very carefully.
Is it called being diplomatic?
Pardon?
Is it called being diplomatic?
Well, diplomatic is what... no, I suppose really it's just being careful not to be tripped up. Diplomatic means that you're doing things in the interest of your country, but you're doing it in a skillful and polite way. Diplomatic can mean lots of things really, but that's why we call them diplomats. They are representatives to put the interests of their country as ambassadors, and normally they always want to be polite, because as soon as you start having an argument, you've then got a problem later. So diplomats tend to be consistent and polite. Politicians lose their temper sometimes with the